Welcome back to the shop. All right, today we're back on the Suburban, which we really hadn't done much with yet, other than some light tinkering. We did do a trailer wiring harness on it. You can check that out in the playlist, I believe under Square Body Suburban or something like that. It's my buddy Mitchell's. It's not mine. He dropped it off a while back for me just to knock off some stuff on a checklist that he wanted done because he didn't have time to do it. He does want to sell this thing if anybody's interested in a square body. It's an 86 3/4 ton, 454, two-wheel drive. It's in really good shape. It's like zero rust, zero, except for a couple spots of surface rust on the paint because it sat outside and got weathered a little bit. But that's not what we're dealing with today. We had a little bit of a starter issue. It does have long tube headers on it, and periodically it's pretty consistent, but not every time you get in it and you hit the key and you get the click, and then it whoom, crank right up. So kind of getting tired of that little scenario. Anyway, I got a local rebuilder here that does a lot of rebuilds, starters, alternators, things of that nature, generators, and he's pretty decent. He's done me well. And so I popped the starter off and just took it to him, said, hey man, check this thing out. What do you think? And he put it on his tester and hit it 100 times, and the solenoid and everything worked perfect, of course. And he's like, 454s, it's either got too much time in it or the headers are too close to the starter. You need a heat shield. So I don't think it's a timing deal. It could be. I did bump the timing up to get a little power in it. So it's possible, but it doesn't seem to be dragging. It's just a solid click and no spin. A lot of times when you got the timing too high, it will buck or it will drag real slow. It'll turn over real slow. I don't think that's the situation we have, but it's possible. What I did do is I got on Summit and just wanted to look for a affordable situation, to our alternative to fixing this heat situation. So it is a stock starter. It has been replaced. He said he did put a couple cheapos in it, and it ate them up really fast. And then he put this one in it. It's got a CarQuest sticker on it, but we got a heat blanket from Summit. It's part number 350118-1. It's a 7-inch by 24-inch starter blanket. So we're going to put that on today, pop the starter back in. We'll go for a drive, get this thing warmed up, and see if it does the clicking anymore. Hopefully not. The rebuilder did say, hey, I can put a solenoid on it if you want me to, but I really don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I said, nah, let's just let me play with the heat blanket or heat shield or something first, and we'll go from there. So that's what we're doing. All right, we're gonna jump into this real quick. Shouldn't take long at all. I didn't film taking it down, but you've got 2 cables that go to the big post and 1 to the small post on that side, and that's it. And 2 bolts that hold it up. Did not have any shims in it, as it wasn't grinding or doing anything weird like that. When it did work, it worked fine. So, all right, we're gonna get this blanket out of the pack and pop her on. I usually, in this scenario, go to a mini starter, but I wanted to try this out and see how I like the blanket situation before we drop a bunch of money on a mini starter. Like I said, he wants to sell this thing and he's ready to let it go. So I'm just gonna, I want it to cover the solenoid, but I don't want to take any chances of it arcing on a solenoid, and I can't cover up my bolt holes. So let's see how we're gonna do this here. does have this handy dandy Velcro deal. Do it just like that. I have to snake in there to put my wires on. So what I might do is just leave it on like that and put it up in the air, or put it up in on the engine block for the two bolts, the mounting bolts. It goes like that, and open my Velcro up, put my wires on, and then put the Velcro back over it, and see how that works. All right, you see I've got the starter. I don't have the bolts in it. I've just got it sitting. It's basically just sitting on top of the transmission cooler lines. And I peeled the blanket back, and now I'm going to put the wires up so I can get to them. Wires on the starter, and just when I was reading through the comments on Summit, when I was looking for one of these, some people were saying that they were having problems with some of these blankets and shields arcing on the power wire. I don't believe this one will, just from looking at it, the way it's designed, but it might. The outside definitely can, but I don't think the inside could. But just to be safe, I'm going to put just a little bit of electrical tape on top of I'm just going to put a little blanket basically on top of the power wire, just in case. I don't want any arcing or anything weird going on down there when I'm trying to drive this thing. So I don't think that, like I said, I don't think that's the case with this one, because it doesn't have like the aluminum foil looking stuff on the inside. It looks just like a header wrap material, which should not be conductive. So I think we'll be good. And the radio just kicked on, so I've got to turn this off. Okay, so I got the bolts in, and you can see, I draped the blanket over the starter before I put it up there. I'm able to position it where I want it. So I'm going to get it over the solenoid, which is up top, as much as possible, because our headers are pretty close. They're not touching it, but they're close enough to radiate a good bit of heat into that thing. So as you can see, that's, in my opinion, the best way to do it. Just drape it over your starter before you stick it up. Put your bolts in, and then you can kind of just shimmy it around the way you want it. Velcro it, and that bad boy shouldn't go anywhere. All right, I kind of slid it down and Velcroed it, and then just kind of slid it back up around. It's not the tightest fit in the world. You could put some clamps around it. I really don't think it's going to go anywhere. So we're just going to leave it like that for a little while, and then just do an inspection later on down the road. So that's it. If you ever want to learn, how to keep some heat off the starter, that's a good cheap alternative to a big metal heat shield, which is kind of a pain in the butt to try to mount up. I'm gonna give this thing a go. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, stick around. I'll heat this thing up, and we'll try that starter a few times and make sure everything seems good after it's hot. All right, we got our battery reconnected, which I didn't show unhooking it, but always unhook your battery before you do any electrical work. You're supposed to do it according to the manual before you do any repairs, but it's a good idea to definitely do it before any electrical work. You don't want any arcing or welding. You can weld some stuff together with some battery cables if you're not careful with yourself. So get your battery situated. Like I said, he wants to sell this thing. It needs cleaning up. It's been sitting outside quite a bit. It's got a lot of pollen and stuff. But you can see, I mean, this thing is a no rust vehicle. We're going to do some more cleaning on it. He just doesn't have the time or the money right now to do a restoration on it like he was planning on doing. And I'd love to buy it, but I don't have the money either. So it is for sale. Have all the bezel and all that stuff for it, the glove box and all that. We were going to do a dash pad and a radio, but just ran out, so we'll probably just put this stuff back together. We're also going to fix the air conditioning, but that didn't happen either, so we're going to sell it as is to the highest bidder. cold start. It's been sitting here a week. It's gonna pump the gas a little bit. She's got long tube headers, 454. Got some Flowmasters on it. Sounds good. Drives good. This thing drives awesome. Does have the third row, but it's not in good shape. Got it set outside. Headliner's immaculate. Back seat's immaculate. This seat's the front seat's in real good shape, except for where I'm sitting. Leave it idle. It is a little cold natured. There you go. That's real time. No edits. All right. So got a little bit of needs a recover. Needs a carpet, piece of carpet. You can see the rockers are in perfect shape. There's no rust in it. A little dent right there. There's a little dent right there where a trailer came off. Thing drives great. It runs good. It really does. I mean, it's got some leaks, and it's you know, it's an old Suburban, but if anybody wants a real solid, rust-free, I mean, about as good a bones vehicle as you can get for doing a Suburban project like that, this is the one to have for sure. Starter blanket job is complete, and so far so good. Hopefully it will continue to do its job, and if you got anything out of it, please hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, come back and see us in the next one. Hey, if you're interested in this thing, and I still got it, when you see this video, drop a comment and let us know if you're interested. It's needs some cleaning up, but it's for sale. It's a solid, rock solid vehicle. All right, peace.